Hello. I'm not really in the mood to have this happy-go-lucky intro that I usually do, and I say usually loosely because it's been a while since I've made one of these, but I finally have had some time to make one. Work has been crazy busy, but nonetheless, I wanted to make something because I feel very passionate about this subject. I have been for a long time, and I feel very fortunate that I haven't had to talk about it in quite a long time. But last night, if you watched the Met game, I'm recording this on Tuesday night. You're probably watching this by Wednesday now, but on Monday night, the Mets were playing a game, and Kevin Pillar got hit right in the face. Didn't even see the ball coming. God, I can't believe that he's talking, breathing, and guy's a true warrior. Or speaking to the media about an hour or so ago, and I'm not even gonna lie to you, I was getting pretty emotional watching him because this guy, if it were me, I would have retired on the spot. Not even a debate in my mind. If I ever get hit in the face with a 95-mile-an-hour fastball, I would never play baseball ever again. I've had my close calls in baseball, and jokingly saying this meant softball. Actually, that's not really a joke. I have had some pretty close calls on that mound, considering it's like 35 feet away. I've had my close calls, and I've been scared to go in a batter's box and go on a mound, and I can't even imagine what it's like to go back in there facing 95-mile-an-hour fastballs and sometimes even upwards of 105 at this point with the way that baseball is being played. I want to make a video about this because I can't even believe that we can't even count 3 calendar years where protective netting was mandatory for fans in baseball. I'm not even gonna get into what the idiots say about reaction time and you should be watching the game, get off your phone, this, that, the third. It's a waste of my breath. Those people, you can't change their minds, but I really just can't believe that you don't even have to go back 3 full years to see that nets weren't mandatory right behind dugouts for fans. And I think MLB has done a great job protecting its fans and having protective netting mandatory. To some stadiums have it down the foul pole line, which I think is great because guys like Giancarlo Stanton and Aaron Judge and Joey Gallo and Trout, they hit these balls, and Ohtani, they hit these balls 120 miles an hour, and that's not nearly enough time for someone behind a dugout to react, even if you are the most athletic person in the world. But I think MLB needs to take that next step and do more to protect hitters and protect batters. Now, people are going to say, well, you know what you sign up for when you play sports. And while that's true, I don't think that any player in any sport should have to be worried about their livelihood when they go out and play a game. What does everyone say? They get to play a game. They make millions to play a game. Yeah, you're right. They play a game. It's supposed to be fun. They're out there to win, and it gets competitive, and it's entertainment for us, but it's entertainment for them as well. They should not have to worry about their livelihoods when they have families to go home to. Families that they don't see for the majority of the year, especially if you make the postseason. They're with their teammates more than they are their family members. And it's time for baseball to take that next step. I think it's time for batters and pitchers, because honestly, we're seeing exit velos at 115 miles an hour. We don't see pitches at 150 miles an hour just yet, but clearly, 95 is not enough time to react. Now imagine if that's 120 miles an hour off the bat. From closer distance, because you've already thrown your pitch. By the time you throw your pitch, you're probably 50, 54 feet, 53 feet away from the mound. I think it's time for MLB to step up and take that initiative. I think MLB has been reactive and not proactive way too often in a lot of cases. And I hope one day we get to the point where we look at baseball games today and we watch baseball like we see hockey photos from the 1940s and 50s and even in the 60s with players not wearing masks and goalies not wearing masks. Take a look at a baseball game from 1930. What do you think that the reaction was when whoever was the commissioner at that time said helmets are now mandatory? In today's world, it's cancel culture and PC culture, and you're soft for worrying about someone dying. So I wonder what the reaction was like then, but now we would look at someone go to home plate without a helmet on, and we would look at them like they have a million heads. And now I think we have gotten to the point where we watch baseball games from, again, 3-4 years ago and see games without protective netting, and we say, what the hell were people thinking? Quickly, it has become the norm that nets are mandatory, and fans have gotten used to it, even though they claimed that they wouldn't, but fans have gotten used to it. I worked for the New York Mets in 2018, and the amount of people that I heard complain about the nets, I can't see this, that, and third. I said I wasn't gonna go off about it, but it's almost unavoidable. What was the last time you heard a complaint about a protective net in front of you? That's not a rhetorical question. I mean that sincerely. I haven't heard any complaints recently whatsoever in at least 3 years. You get used to it. It's the new normal. In this world, there's a lot of things about the new normal that we don't like, rightfully so. When it comes to livelihood and instant possibility of death, I think you can make an exception. And I'm surprised that more baseball players aren't wearing face masks. And I'm surprised that more pitchers aren't wearing helmets and face masks. Maybe they don't want to become that guy. Sure. I think that has something to do with it. Maybe it's a comfortability factor. I'm sure that if you give a pitcher who has had clear vision all of his life from 60 feet away, if you give him a mask all of a sudden, yeah, that's going to be some adjusting. Absolutely. But I don't think it's going to be that hard to adjust. It'll be difficult at first, but I think he learned to get used to things quickly. Look at hockey games. A 14-year-old girl was killed almost 20 years ago now because a puck went flying behind the net. Does anyone complain about the nets up at hockey games? I'm surprised that they're not around throughout the entire rink at this point. What's NHL going to do? Wait for someone to die along the boards? Maybe that will put the nets up? What more has to happen? We've seen pitchers take line drives off the head. We've seen batters get hit in the face. Helmets can only do so much. Are they legitimately waiting for someone to die on the field? I think that's what they're waiting for. I think the NFL is doing the same thing sometimes. I think the NFL has done a good job with their youth movement and learning how to tackle properly. That's a whole different discussion because it's the most physical sport, that and hockey, obviously. Hockey, they've done a better job protecting their fans and their players. Same thing with football. They have done a better job protecting their players. There's only so much that you can do. Football, one wrong tackle that can be legal can just go the wrong way. I think that after watching what happened with Kevin Pillar last night, and you know what, Kevin, if you watch this and you call me a bitch and you're going to go up in the batter, I give you a shitload of credit, man, for what you said and putting your teammates out first and thinking of the pitcher who my heart goes out to him because that's a huge mental hurdle that he has to climb. I feel like Kevin Pillar is honestly doing quite all right. Just don't want the MLB to wait until it's too late. I think I've said all I've needed to say. I'm sure that whoever watches this, a lot of people are going to disagree with me. You know what? That's okay. That's cool. I can deal with being disagreed upon. But I don't want to see a baseball player die on the field. And if that makes me a bitch, if that makes me PC culture, whatever the hell you guys want to talk about, so be it. I'll live with that. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you guys watching. So long. Take care, everybody.